you. Yeah, so once again, I welcome all the students who have joined this meeting and all the faculty members who are present in this meeting for the second session on introductory concepts of the course which we are floating for the benefit of students and faculty as well, called Aspects of Research, How to Heighten the Research Quotient amongst the UG students and faculty. Okay, so this is a second session which we are conducting. So in this session, typically within an hour or so, I would like to complete remaining part of the module number 1. And then we will have a discussion by the project groups on the basis of whatever the paper they have received. And they will explain what type of research approach is being utilized in that particular paper by the authors. Yeah, so that is what we decided last time. So I hope everybody is with me on this line. So let's go ahead and we'll complete the session. We will have a presentation by me for 1 hour or so, and then followed by the discussion. Yeah. Okay. So the next article we have seen last time. What are the different types of research? Today we'll start with research approaches. Now again, research approaches typically form the basis for type of research. So ideally, I should have taken this particular article before the types of research. But anyways, that's fine. So typically, there are three different approaches. One is quantitative and qualitative. Second one is applied and basic. And the third one is inductive and deductive. Okay, so on the basis of these three approaches, we have different types of research. So on this slide, I have considered quantitative and qualitative approach. And on the basis of this, we will have quantitative research and qualitative research, about which we have discussed at length in the previous session. I will just take you through this slide and then we'll move on. Yeah. So the emphasis of quantitative research is on collecting and analyzing numerical data. So here we talk about numbers associated with the important parameters or variables which are of importance for that particular study. It concentrates on measuring the scale, range, frequency, etc. of the phenomena. So we have discussed this, but there is a subclass of this quantitative research approach called inferential, experimental, and simulation. Okay, so in case of inferential approach, we have limited data. We actually go for sampling. Okay, and on the basis of that sampling, we make general comments. Like for example, opinion polls. In case of opinion polls, it's not possible to ask for opinion of all individuals involved. So what these researchers do, they will go to a few selected people and they will ask their own opinion on a particular phenomena, maybe say election, for example. Okay, and on the basis of that sample and what is the opinion of these people in that sample, they will form a general opinion saying that a certain party will win or certain party will lose with certain percentage of votes, whatever. Okay, so inferential, they infer on the basis of limited data which is available to them, and they make generalized statements on the basis of that. Okay, so they infer, they make use of their brain and sort of conclude what would be the future situation, sort of prediction, you can say. The next subset is of the quantitative approach is experimental. Anybody wants to ask question? Yeah. Okay, so experimental is one in which we consider important parameters or variables, and this is like a control environment in which we will actually study what is the effect of certain parameter on other parameters. Experimentally, we collect the data and then we conclude. Okay, so that is experimental. We have studied in detail what is experimental research in the previous session. And then we have also something called as simulation, which is very important aspect of research, which actually gives you liberty to perform any sort of experiment. which is not possible with the help with experimental type of research. But in case of simulation, it's like artificial creation of reality. Yeah. Okay, but then there are situations it's not possible to perform all type of experiments, which is costly affair, time consuming. So we perform simulations. There are situations wherein it is not possible to perform experiments at all. Like for example, uh, if you consider nanotechnology, and if you want to perform some experiments in that particular field. Okay, so conducting actual experiments in nanotechnology is very difficult. Typically, I will talk about say carbon nanotubes. Carbon nanotubes are becoming very important material for composites, future composites. So they are on nanoscale, and manufacturing carbon nanotubes, CNTs, itself is a very difficult task, and performing experiments on that will be further difficult task. So best way is to simulate the things, and for that we will have simulation models, and we will actually perform simulations as far as various different kinds of experiments are concerned. And out of these simulations, we will select few results so that we can validate with the help of a designed experiment. Yeah, so simulation is very useful. Like the whole space research is about simulation. We cannot go into space and actually perform the experiments there. We have to simulate the space situation and go ahead with that research. So simulation is very important. There is a very nice movie, short film actually, by same name, Simulation, which says that human beings are also in simulation on planet Earth. Yeah, so there is a school of thought which says that the way we research different animals, the way we perform say research on different animals like rats or monkeys or rabbits, to find out some vaccine or some medical or clinical research. Similar to that, there are some advanced beings which have kept all these animals along with human beings on this planet Earth to study. So they say that we are in simulation, sort of. Yeah, so there are hypotheses like that. Anyways, there is a very nice movie, Simulation. You can watch that short film, sci-fi movie. Yeah. So next is qualitative research. We have studied about this also in detail. Qualitative research is more subjective in nature than quantitative research and involves examining and reflecting on the less tangible aspects of research subject. For example, values, attitudes, and perceptions. So it is difficult to put numbers on these things. How can you put number on a say a value? How can you put a number to attitude of a person, or what is the perception of a person? It's difficult. So it is qualitative. Yeah, so we have these are the two approaches, quantitative and qualitative, and on the basis of that, we have type of research called quantitative research and qualitative research. We have discussed at length about these things, so we will move on. Next research approach is applied and basic. Applied research again is designed from the start to apply its findings to a particular situation. So we have discussed about this also, which is like applied research, and we discussed about the current pandemic situation and how pharmaceutical firms are competing with each other to come up with a reliable vaccine for today's situation. Yeah, so that is applied research. Basic research is nothing but fundamental research. We have also discussed about that in detail. It is to improve the knowledge generally without any particular purpose in mind at the outset. So we discussed about the theory of everything, string theory, quantum mechanics. Okay, so these are the things we have discussed about these things. So applied or basic research approach leads to fundamental research or applied research. So I will move on to the next slide. Third approach is deductive or inductive. So I will spend some time on this because this we have not discussed at length. Okay. So the main difference between inductive and deductive reasoning is that inductive reasoning aims at developing a theory, while deductive reasoning aims at testing an existing theory. Yeah, so that is the difference between deductive and inductive. And this is what we do all the time while performing any kind of research. Okay, in engineering research, it's full of deductive and inductive approaches. Yeah, so deductive approach or deductive research moves from general idea or theories to specific or particular situations, whereas inductive research moves from particular situations to make or infer broad general ideas or theories. Okay, so let me give one example on this, one or two examples for this to understand what is meaning of deductive and inductive. Okay, so let us consider inductive research first, or inductive research approach. Okay, so there is an observation. We say that low cost. Well, we are running out of time. 10 minutes meeting will end. All of us are required to join back. Yeah, so we are discussing about inductive research approach now. And let us say there is an observation which says a low cost airline flight is delayed. That is an observation. In order to prove or disprove this observation, a researcher will perform say observations on more number of flights. So on the basis of that, the researcher will try to find out what is the pattern. Yeah, so for example, another 20 flights the researcher will observe, and if it is the case that these flights are delayed, then there is a pattern which says that low cost airlines are delayed. That is the pattern. Okay, and on the basis of this limited number of observations, that is 20 or 30, the researcher is developing a theory which says low cost airlines always have delays. Okay, so that is the theory now on the basis of limited data, which is inferred by the researcher. Okay, so what is observation? A low cost airline flight is delayed. That is observation. In order to find out pattern, there are more. There are number of observations, but with some sampling data, we cannot observe all the flights. So researcher chooses to consider say 20 flights. On the basis of that, he or she says that low cost airlines are delayed, and forms a theory saying that low cost airlines always have delays. Always, that is more important. Okay, so that is the theory is developed on the basis of 20 observations. Yeah, so that is inductive research. Okay, so what it says, we move from a particular situation to make or infer broad general ideas. So what is the particular situation here in this example? A low cost airline flight is delayed. That is the particular situation. And what is the theory developed out of it? Low cost airlines always have delays. So that is the hypothesis or theory, you can say. Okay, so that is what is inductive approach. Okay, another example of inductive approach I can give you is about say there is observation, say elephants depend on water to exist. Elephants depend on water to exist. That is an observation. So in order to see what is the pattern, the researcher is performing this type of research on various animals. Okay, and there is a pattern which says all observed animals depend on water to exist. Okay, so that is typical pattern is noticed in living entities. And on the basis of this research, what is the induction or what is the conclusion? All biological life depends on water to exist. Okay, so here in another example, what I am saying is that observation is that elephants depend on water to exist. Therefore, in order to see the pattern, researcher performs observation on various animals. Okay, all observed animals depend on water to exist. That is the pattern observed, and therefore, on the basis of this pattern, the theory developed or the statement is made. All biological life depends on water to exist. Okay, so that's why you see space research is about finding a planet with water. Yeah, so that is inductive approach. So we have limited data, and on the basis of that particular situation, we make general or what is same general statement which formulates the basis of a theory. Okay, so that is about inductive research. Now coming to deductive research. In case of deductive research, as I mentioned here, the research moves from general ideas or theories to specific or particular situations. So it is other way around now. Yeah. So in order to perform deductive research, we need to have some hypothesis. So that means inductive research should be performed, and on the basis of that inductive research, there should be some general idea or theory. Then only we can go ahead with the performing of deductive research. Yeah. So we'll go ahead with the same examples. There are two examples which we have said. One example is about low-cost airlines always have delays. That is the hypothesis or theory, and we'll test it. So in order to test, what we'll do, we will start with this existing theory that which says that low-cost airlines always have delays. Now, in order to test this, we need to formulate a statement. Say, for example, we'll say if passengers fly with a low-cost airline, then they will always experience delays. If passengers fly with low-cost airline, then they will always experience delays. This is hypothesis. Now we need to test this. So in order to test this hypothesis, that if you take a low-cost airline, there will be delay. We need to collect the data. Okay, so collect flight data of low-cost airlines. Again, we can do it for say 20, 50, 100, 1,000 flights. Okay, and then we analyze that data. Okay, this is actual collection of the data. Now, for example, we do it for say 100 flights, but out of these 100 flights, if 5 flights are on time, that means the hypothesis is actually not fulfilling the requirements. No, it needs to be rejected, because there are 5 flights of the low-cost airline which are on time or which are not delayed, though 95 flights are delayed. Okay, so inductive research will tell you what is the perception or what will happen, and deductive research will prove or disprove it. Yeah. So another example we have taken is that all biological life depends on water to exist. Yeah. So that is the theory. To start with this, what we'll do, we'll formulate a hypothesis based on this existing theory. So we'll say that all land mammals depend on water to exist. All land mammals depend on water to exist. So this is hypothesis, and again we will go to the go and collect actual data in order to test this hypothesis. So we will see whether all land mammals species depend on water or not. So we'll test few samples of different mammals, and then on the basis of our conclusion, we observe that all land mammals depend on actually water, and that supports the hypothesis. Yeah. So any doubt, any difficulty related to deductive and inductive approach? I have tried to give very simple examples how we can use inductive approach, and if we have inductive approach, how we can actually prove or disprove with the help of deductive approach. Yeah, so 2 minutes to go. We'll join back. So before we join back, you can have questions. You can ask me. I would like to just tell you about limitations of inductive and deductive approach. Okay, so in case of inductive approach, a conclusion is drawn on the basis of an inductive method, which can never be proven. Yeah, that cannot be proved, but it can be invalidated. So we make use of falsifying, theory of falsifying. Yeah, so for example, as I mentioned, if we observe 100 flights and 100 of them are delayed, you cannot say for sure that flight number 101 will be also delayed. That is the limitation of inductive approach. It cannot be sure about that. Similarly, there is a limitation of deductive approach also, because the conclusions of deductive reasoning or deductive approach can only be true if all premises set in the inductive study are true and the terms are clear. Okay, then only it is useful. Like for example, if you say all dogs have fleas, that is premise number 1. Now there is another premise number 2 is say Beno is a dog. Okay, there are 2 premises. All dogs have fleas and Beno is a dog. Then we can conclude that Beno has fleas. Okay, but then this conclusion is true if and only if both the premises are true. Yeah. So that is what it is. Any difficulty, any doubt related to deductive and inductive reasoning? Because this is very important. Okay, so less than 1 minute to go. We'll join back.